Well, hello. I'm here to try out a very controversial brand. Yep, that's right. I bought everything from Jaclyn Cosmetics again. I got the entire Jaclyn Cosmetics highlighting set. I have the Mood Light powders, I have the Luminous loose powders, I have the loose highlighters, I have the highlight palette, and I have the brushes. I have got it all, so I'm going to try them. I'm going to put them all on my face and see, are these highlighters actually any good? What's the real story here? So if you want to see my thoughts on this entire collection, then keep on watching because we're getting started right now. But before we do that, don't forget, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. All right, let's go. So we're here to get started playing with the Jaclyn Cosmetics highlighters. There are, of course, 3 different formulas for the highlighters, and I'm going to go ahead and start with the powder. What is it called? Mood Light, sorry. Mood Light powders. It's very confusing, I'm not going to lie. So these are the Mood Light powders. There are 5 of them. I was originally only going to pick up 3, and then I found out this whole collection was limited edition, so I did end up picking up all, I can't pick these up. I can't actually literally pick them up. There we go. I did end up picking up all 5 of the Mood Light powders. So like I said, I picked up all 5 of the powders, and then I also picked up some of the bundles, because with the bundle, this is the box that it comes in. You open it up. Inside is the individual box that the powder comes in, and then you also in here get the brush. Oops. You also get the brush. I thought, let's go ahead and just play with all of these powders, and then we'll talk about them all kind of at the end, since there are 3 different formulas. And I look crazy because I have my eyebrows done and I have my foundation done, but I have only set underneath my eyes and kind of like around my nose and smile line, and then just right here in my forehead. Kind of my T-zone where I get a little more oily, but the rest, I have not set the rest of my face. It's still, well, it's kind of dried down, slightly tacky, because I want to go ahead and set my face with these Mood Light powders. So these Mood Light luminous powders, it says, bring out that inner glow with this magically luminous powder. Infused with diamond and rose quartz powders, this multi-purpose formula blurs imperfection, enhances your complexion, and delivers a radiant finish. Use it as a finishing powder all over the face to get that lit from within look, or apply it to targeted areas for a soft highlight. So I actually have been playing with these for a little bit just to kind of see which shade is going to be the best. So there are, like I said, there are 5 shades that are supposed to kind of run the gamut of different skin colors. So we do have the shades Do Me, which is an iced nude glow, ideal for fair to light skin tones. Brighten Up, a iced peach glow, ideal for fair to light skin tones. Carats soft golden glow, ideal for light to medium skin tones. Brilliant, a soft caramel glow, ideal for medium to tan skin tones. And then Feelin It, a bronze glow, ideal for dark to deep skin tones. So I also have played with the brush a little bit. So here is the J01 brush. These are synthetic, but they actually feel almost like natural hair bristles. They're not quite as coarse as a natural hair bristle. This is a natural hair blush, but they feel more natural hair than like a regular synthetic brush, which I know Jaclyn mentioned that she wanted them to feel somewhat natural hair, but being cruelty-free and synthetic. So that's actually kind of cool. I like that. It's like new technology. Otherwise, I don't think the brushes look bad. Some people say that they look a little cheap for the price. I have to say these are expensive. I mean, relatively. They're not like the most expensive brushes that you've ever purchased in your life, but they're on the higher end side of brushes. But I do think they're pretty. It has silver and then it kind of fades to like a clear, which I think is really pretty. But I really like the bristles on this. So I've been playing with this for a while, and I'm going to talk you through how I tend to not really set, but finish the rest of my face using kind of all these powders, because I use a number of them in different like targeted areas to kind of almost start the contouring process before I actually do any contouring. So I'm gonna take the light shade, not the lightest, the second to lightest shade called Brighten Up. It's a slightly peachy pink kind of shade, and I'm just gonna take a little bit of this, tap off the excess, and this I'm just applying to my forehead, like the center of my forehead. So now I'm going to take Brilliant, which is the one for like tan skin tones, the second to darkest one, and I'm going to put this on the rest of my cheek and kind of along my chin. This looks pretty dark, but it actually, I feel like it shears out, because at first I wasn't using this one, but I use just the tiniest little bit and then I tap it off and just kind of swirl it around. And then last but not least, I actually am going to take the darkest powder, which is the shade Feelin It. Now this one is quite dark, very dark, but I'm actually gonna take what's just in the actual cap because that's way too much. And really tap this off. I'm getting the tiniest bit, and then this I'm going to go around the perimeter of my face and in my contour to kind of do a preliminary contour, so to speak. Because it does show up. Do you see that? There's a little bit there. This, I find, creates a really beautiful, kind of like healthy, radiant, sun-kissed glow. Either of these two darkest shades, either Feelin It or Brilliant, could work to do this kind of like light, sun-kissed glow, depending on your skin tone, which is really pretty. So, I mean, you can see it's a very kind of subtle glow, a little subtle highlight. This is a very light highlighter. It's actually kind of nice. I'm not so mad at it. This is the Mood Light Luminous powders. Let's move on to the next highlighting formula, which are the palettes. They also have a name. I know it's the Flash and the Flare. Accent Light? Oh, I wrote down a note. Duh, where did I put it? See, I wrote them all down. Look at me trying to be like a prepared YouTuber. Yes, they are the Accent Light palettes, and then we also have the Accent Light Duo, which again is a brush and highlighter set. So I got both shades. Again, these don't have the name that says Accent Light anywhere. It just says highlighter palette, and then this is the Flare. And then with the Duo, I got the Flash. And this actually does say Accent Light Duo on it. So again, you open it up. Inside the box, you have the palette with the brush. This is the JO2 brush. Okay, so here's the brush. Well, this is kind of nice. It's flatter than I thought it would be. It's not quite as, I thought it'd be more rounded. Like, for example, here's the Jeffree Star Morphe highlighting brush, which if you look on her video that Jaclyn posted, Lipstick Nick is using this brush. So this is the one that I've been using with the highlighters. But this one's actually quite a bit bigger, and it is slightly flat on one side. So it's fan brush-esque. Kind of cool. Okay. So on here we have the Flare palette and the Flash palette. There's no distinguishable markings from the front. It just says on the back, it's like engraved on here, Flash and Flare. But on the front, you can't really tell the difference between them. So the Flash is the lighter, the light skin tone palette. And then the Flare is the deeper skin tone palette. So once again, maybe, I don't know, I'm sure this is not just my cross to bear, my mountain to die on, because I'm not the only person in the world with my skin tone. It's very difficult when it comes to making purchasing decisions with makeup when companies put out two palettes, like two highlighter palettes, and that's it. They put one for lighter skin tones, and then they do one for deeper skin tones, and that's it. They leave out the whole middle range of all of the palettes. But just having looked at these two palettes, looking at pictures online, because this is well, when I purchased it, now Jaclyn Cosmetics is being sold in Morphe stores. I know, surprise, surprise. But when I purchased these on the day they launched, they were only sold on the website. So I couldn't go and swatch them. So it's just, again, kind of frustrating that there's no middle ground. But anyways, whatever. One thing I have to say right off the bat, like I know I said I would save my rundown, my final thoughts till the end, but one thing that has driven me crazy since the moment I saw these is that they are off center. They are not centered. It drives my like OCD brain crazy that there's like this section that's just wasted space. Like you could make this palette so much smaller. You could have it like be really compact and petite, you know, to store better, travel better, but no, they had to make it wider just to put, it says Jaclyn. Like, I know whose brand it is, it says it on the front. Like, I don't care. That just drives me crazy. It really, it drives me insane. Also, the other thing that I have to say is that this package is unnecessarily bulky. Look at this. This is really like big. Like this lid is really big because the mirror is like indented, it's set in, and then this part is, to make it look like diamond cut or whatever, is raised. So this packaging is so unnecessarily bulky for what you get. It's kind of drives me a little bit crazy. Those are the two things I have to say about the packaging. Let's talk about the actual products and play with those. These palettes of super creamy highlighters give you light with every swipe. Each palette features 4 shimmering, buildable shades that apply seamlessly onto skin, so you'll be glowing from any angle. Our accent light highlighters are made using a proprietary filling process, which creates unique, one-of-a-kind patterns in every pan. All the shades will give you the same beautiful highlight, but each one is like an original work of art. So the Flash palette has the shades Gleam, a lustrous pearl, Iced, a lustrous iced champagne, Sparks, a lustrous frosted gold, and Mesmerized, a lustrous soft pink. And we have the Flare palette, which has Glow Up, a lustrous golden champagne, Made You Look, a lustrous golden honey, Exposure, a lustrous deep bronze, and Turned On, a lustrous flaming copper. So I think what I actually want to do in order to get the full effect of these shadows, well, not shadows, the full effect of these highlighters is I'm going to use them as shadows. Now, Jaclyn did say that in her reveal video that you could use these as eyeshadows, but I've not seen, but I haven't really watched a ton of reviews. I haven't seen people do that, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to play with these highlighters. I'm going to try to use both palettes as eyeshadows and see if we can create something on my eyes. So I'm going to start on the Flare palette and go into this deep kind of bronze shade called Exposure, because this, I could not use this as a highlighter. Could not use this as a highlighter. Like, it could be a, well, it's too metallic, I think, to use as a glowy bronzer. So I'm not really sure how I would use this other than an eyeshadow, but let's give it a try. And I'm going to try to put this right in my crease. That's okay. Let me get closer. Well, that's super metallic-y, but what did I expect using a highlighter as a eyeshadow? I still think it might work though. Should I have started with a matte something on my eye first? Possibly, but I didn't, so. This is the eyeshadow I've got going on so far. It looks kind of nice, but it's a little bit light. So I think I'm gonna grab just my bronzer. Okay, so I actually kind of like this eyeshadow look. I did have to use a little bit of a darker color than just my bronzer. So I used this brown shade from the Too Faced Hot Buttered Rum palette. But I think this is really pretty. Like, this is a really gorgeous eyeshadow look, and it was fairly simple. It didn't take that long to do. Okay, so now that I have bronzed and contoured and used a little bit of blush, let's go ahead and put some more of these highlighters on. I want to try to use as many of them in as different ways as possible. So I do have a matte blush on, but I thought I want to use this shade very lightly as kind of a topper. I'm not sure. This is very pigmented, so I'm going to go extremely lightly because I don't want to... Okay. Oh, that's kind of pretty. Ooh, that has like a nice little glow to it. That's really nice. It's not overly, I mean, it looks pretty good. I tried this another day and without a blush, and this did not work as a blush on its own. It was like too pigmented, or maybe I just went in with too heavy of a hand, which is probably possible. Okay. Anyways, so now I think I'm going to try to do actual highlight. I actually really like both of these highlighters. I've used them on a couple occasions and I think they're quite pretty. So I'm going to use this darker shade called Made Ya Look. This actually looks quite nice on my skin tone. Let's try this brush. Oh, that's nice. It's just too bad I have a really bad dry patch like right here. Nothing looks particularly good. Okay, I like that. And I'm gonna go into the other palette and I'm gonna use the shade Mesmerized. And I'm gonna put it on top because I think it'll lighten it up just a little bit without making it too light, because on its own, this one was a little light. Wow, okay, pretty. Gorgeous. Let me just kind of tone this down a little bit. That highlight is so intense. Very intense. And we haven't even got to the like intense highlighters yet. Oh my goodness sakes alive. Here is this giant collection. This is the Bold and Beaming highlighter bundle. Here we have all of the highlighters and then the brush. So these are supposed to be very intense, like very, very intense when it comes to like highlightiness. So I want to go very light-handed with these. Here's the last brush. So this is the J03 brush, and this is the one I think is the most interesting or intriguing to me. This is the one that's kind of like a mini fan brush. Oh yeah, that's so cool. Look at that shape. That's really unique and really different. I kind of like that. The Beaming Light Loose Highlighters. Light up the room with this silky soft ultra beaming highlighter. Enriched with super fine lustrous pearls, our high impact formula delivers an intense yet buildable wet shine look. And this again comes in 5 shades. We have Extra, a dazzling white gold, Balm, a dazzling golden sand, Amped, a dazzling golden peach, High Volt, a dazzling rose gold, and Megawatt, a dazzling copper bronze. All right, which one do I want to use? I think this one, right? Amped. Yeah, I want to use Amped. This is just going on the tops. Oh, wow. Okay, now I'm going to use the fan brush this way and kind of... That's pretty. That's a lot, but it's pretty. Try to tone it down just a little bit. And then I'm gonna go be crazy and I'm gonna use the super, super light, bright one. And I'm just taking what's in the cap. Like, I'm not gonna use very much of this. And I'm just gonna put this on my nose and on my Cupid's bow. Oh, ooh, look at that. So I am glowing. Wow. Wow, that's so much. Oh, so much. Okay, I think I'm gonna go ahead and just put on my lipstick. So this is what I have going on, which is honestly a lot of highlighter. It is a lot of highlighter. And I love highlighters. I really, really do. But this just feels like a lot. A very lot. So what do I think about everything? Well, honestly, they all worked. There weren't any issues. I didn't notice any manufacturing defects, quality issues. All the products honestly seem nice. Do I like them all equally? No. Do I have some issues with them? Yeah. But overall, the products themselves are very nice. Let's start with the last product I used. These little guys, the Beaming Lights highlighter set. These are like I don't know what I was gonna say. They are so concentrated and they're really, really gorgeous. I actually did end up putting this lightest one on my cheekbone to kind of really like, I mean, come on. It's probably a bit light. Okay, not probably, it is. It's definitely a bit light, but it's kind of pretty, I think. I don't know, maybe. You have to tell me. Do I look crazy? Do I look insane? Let me try to, okay. Did that tone it down? I toned it down a little bit. I know it's really light, but it was kind of fun. At the same time, I do really like it. So I think my favorites are probably the two, well, I think the three middle ones, as usual, are kind of my favorite. These are quite pretty. Now, in terms of the little mini highlighting fan brush, this is cool. I have never seen a tiny mini fan brush like this. I'm sure they make them. I know that this is not a new brush, but it is the first one that I've ever used, and I do really like it. I like that you can use just like the tip and kind of place things wherever you want it. I used it to go down the bridge of my nose, you know, on the Cupid's bow. There's a lot of versatility, and I think especially with a product like, you know, these guys that are very pigmented, you want to go in with a light hand, having a very small kind of detailed brush is really nice. So this is a nice set. I do quite like this. Speaking of the sets, I like that this came in a set all together. We can get all 5 highlighters and the brush together. And this doesn't feel like too much packaging for what you're getting. The other sets, however, do feel like too much. I think we do have to be better and smarter as consumers and, you know, with brands, and hold them accountable for the amount of waste that we are creating. You can recycle this, but I just would rather have not seen this be made in the first place when it was unnecessary. So I'm sure the reason that they created these boxes was so that they could sell the bundles in the Morphe stores. I just don't think it's necessary. You wouldn't have to sell the bundles in the Morphe stores, and if you were going to buy them online, why, when you're just putting things in a box, you could just throw, here's your little powder and here's your brush. Just have these. Why create this extra packaging that these then have to go inside? It's just duplicate packaging that I really feel is large and bulky and unnecessary. Speaking about large and bulky packaging, let's go ahead and move on and talk about the Accent Light palettes. Now, I think these are probably my least favorite in the whole collection. Again, the packaging, it feels too big and chunky for me, in my opinion. Now, that being said, this is slightly weighted, so because this is quite expensive for a second launch for a very new brand whose first launch went admittedly horribly, this price point a little bit high, honey bunches. I'm just saying, I'm not saying that this isn't high quality packaging, that it's not weighted, that the products that are in here are not high quality. But we are living in a post Beautiful World of Jeffree Star society. Consumers are no longer ignorant about the amount of markup that goes into makeup products. And I get, again, that this is high quality packaging. I'm sure it was expensive to produce, but maybe in light of Lipstick Gate, you lower the price just a little bit to entice customers to come back to your brand. I mean, I'm not a marketer, it's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. It is a little bit high. And for the price, I'm not in love with either of these palettes, to be honest. I really am not. So when I'm paying this much for basically getting 2 shades, which yes, those 2 shades are admittedly very beautiful, and the formula is very nice, it's just a bit much. The brush for the Accent Light, have these Accent Light? I don't know. For the highlight palettes, it's nice. This is probably my, well, I don't know if it's my least favorite brush. I feel like the other 2 brushes, the J01 and the J02 brushes, are just fine. And then last but not least, the product I think I was most surprised by, and not even surprised by, just I didn't really know what to expect with these Luminous setting glow powders. These actually are very nice, and the thing that I noticed when using these powders with my other products, I just thought having these powders all over the face created such a beautiful canvas. That's it. It's kind of creating like a silky, not super glowy, but a more silky or smooth canvas on which to apply the rest of my color products that then throughout the day become more glowy and luminous as everything kind of, you know, melds together. You know, a couple hours in, 4, 5, 6 hours into wearing it, I looked in the mirror and I was like, wow, my skin just looks like it's radiating from the inside even more than when I first put them on. I really, really do love the effect that these powders have on the skin. Like, it's really special and kind of really, really cool. I think that's everything. That's everything I have to say about this launch. I know I didn't really talk about the controversy with the lipsticks and lipstick gate. I think the products speak for themselves. The products perform well. I think the products are very nice, especially the little mini beaming light highlighters. These are very nice. And the Mood Light powders. These are very nice. I think I would recommend both of those products. But again, it's up to you if you want to support the brand Jaclyn Cosmetics. That's your choice. I'm saying it now. I'm calling it now. I am calling it that this is not actually a limited edition collection. I could be wrong. We'll come back to this video in like 6 months and see. I don't think it's gonna be limited edition. I just don't. It just doesn't make sense for Jaclyn to have highlighters that are limited edition. They're gonna bring it back and it's gonna be a whole thing and they're gonna like try to sell more. I don't know, but I don't think it's limited edition. So I'm gonna shut it down here. I'm gonna leave it at that. Thank you so very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, this review. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Lets me know that you liked it. Really helps me out and I appreciate it. And if you have not yet subscribed, go ahead and do that. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss a single video. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope your day is fantastic and I will see you guys next time. Bye.